The news broke like a thunderclap. Diddy, once facing charges that could have locked him away for life, had emerged with a mixed verdict. Not guilty of racketeering, not guilty on counts 2 and 4, but guilty on counts 3 and 5. Federal charges related to the illegal transportation of individuals for questionable purposes. Each carried a maximum sentence of 10 years, meaning a possible 20-year prison term loomed over him, but insiders and legal pundits alike hinted at a far lighter fate. Probation, a few years. Many believed he would walk away with a slap on the wrist, and that's what ignited a firestorm. Mark Wahlberg's reaction came swift and sharp. "It's rigged," he said plainly. No PR filter, no sugarcoating. For many, it sounded like sour grapes, but for those who knew the history, it struck a far deeper nerve. Rumors of a haunting past encounter with Diddy began swirling once again. Wahlberg, who once flirted with a full return to the music scene, was allegedly offered a second shot, one that came with strings attached. He refused. His reasoning? It was never fully explained. Until now. Back in the early 2000s and 10s, Diddy and Wahlberg collaborated on a business venture in the beverage industry, launching an alkaline water company together, but insiders claim the two men had a longer, far murkier history. When Wahlberg, formerly known as Marky Mark, was trying to reboot his career after fading from the music spotlight, he allegedly reached out to Diddy. Bad Boy Records had the resources, reach, and clout to revive his career overnight, but something happened during those talks that made Wahlberg abandon the idea entirely, and reportedly, music as a whole. What happened behind closed doors? If Jaguar Wright's chilling claims are to be believed, it wasn't just about music. Wright once exposed a dark side of the industry, claiming that new male artists were often forced to engage in humiliating and compromising situations just to get a record deal. She spoke of a Bad Boy Records lawyer who stumbled upon Diddy being serviced by singer-actor Christopher Williams during office hours. The door had been left unlocked. When the lawyer walked in, she was stunned. The next day, Diddy allegedly confronted her, not with an apology, but with a power move. "This is my building," he said, according to Wright. "I can do anything I want in here." Then came the line that would haunt fans and industry insiders alike: "I can make a man suck." Wright's implication was clear. These weren't just personal preferences. This was about domination, about asserting control in an industry fueled by power plays and exploitation. For Wahlberg, who had already seen the darker side of fame and had done prison time for a violent crime in his youth, this alleged behavior may have been the final red flag. He didn't want to sell his soul for a second chance. 50 Cent, never one to hold back, echoed the outrage. As soon as the verdict was read, he flooded Instagram with a chilling meme. "Beat the Rico, he the gay John Gotti." The reference to the notorious mob boss, known for his string of legal victories, wasn't just about Diddy's courtroom win. It suggested something deeper, something darker. A man untouchable, not because of innocence, but because of influence. But the most outrageous moment wasn't the verdict itself, it was what happened inside the courtroom after it was announced. As if rehearsed, Diddy stood up, bowed his head in mock humility, then turned to face the gallery, his face beaming. He clapped, and the courtroom erupted in applause. His lawyers hugged. His family wept tears of joy. "Thank you, love you, Mom, I love you, I love you," he called out. The gallery began chanting "Dream Team," hailing the legal squad that got him partially off the hook. For many, the celebration was grotesque. A man found guilty of serious charges acting as though he had just won a Grammy. Victims' advocates, industry watchdogs, and fellow musicians called it a disgraceful spectacle. But Diddy wasn't done making headlines. The verdict set off a chain reaction across the industry, and more skeletons were about to fall out of the closet. Mark Wahlberg's early career was tumultuous. Originally part of New Kids on the Block, he left to form Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Their debut album, Music for the People, exploded with hits like Good Vibrations. But after a short-lived high, the group floundered. By 1992, Wahlberg's career took a nosedive after he made homophobic comments, co-signing statements that gay people should be crucified. The backlash was swift and intense. Cancelled and criticized, he fled to Germany in hopes of salvaging his musical dreams. There, he found modest success with reggae artist Prince Ital Joe. Songs like United topped German charts, and Wahlberg briefly returned to the spotlight, but it wasn't enough. His label wanted him to take a darker path, to mimic the gritty persona of artists like Eminem. Wahlberg refused. After serving jail time in his youth and undergoing what he described as a personal transformation, he wanted his music to be positive, uplifting. The label didn't agree, so Wahlberg walked away. Years later, he had had a chance to return, this time with Diddy, but allegedly the offer came with a price, and Wahlberg wasn't willing to pay it, especially not when he'd already seen what the industry had done to others. Chris Brown may have said it best. In a cryptic interview, he suggested that Diddy rejected him early in his career because he didn't dance. Many fans interpreted the word dance literally. Others saw it as code, a veiled reference to the alleged acts artists were expected to perform for a shot at fame. Add to that the lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who claimed that Diddy attempted to coerce him into a sexual relationship, and the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Lil Rod's suit didn't stop at his own experiences. He claimed Diddy bragged about past flings with major artists, including Usher and Meek Mill. Though neither were named directly, the lawsuit described a rapper from Philadelphia who once dated Nicki Minaj, and an R&B icon with a recent Las Vegas residency and Super Bowl performance. Names that matched Meek and Usher. Meek Mill vehemently denied the claims, blasting the accusations in an unfiltered post. But fans weren't convinced. An old video resurfaced. In it, Meek sat poolside with Diddy, calling him daddy and professing love. You doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. I love you. Harmless or not, the clip fueled speculation. Fans now saw it as further proof of the power dynamics Lil Rod alleged. Could Meek Mill have been coerced in his early days? Was this the industry's dark initiation? And what about Kid Cudi? Internet personality Josh Ostrovsky claimed Diddy blew up Cudi's car out of sheer jealousy because he believed Cudi was secretly dating Cassie, Diddy's ex. Ostrovsky, also known as the Fat Jewish, said he himself witnessed Diddy hooking up with a male producer at a party on Star Island. When he accidentally walked into the room, he claimed everyone froze. And later, Diddy's team allegedly called him, demanding he say it was all a joke. Ostrovsky didn't back down. He repeated the story on Hot 97, though the interview was reportedly pulled. According to him, Diddy even had him followed and threatened, all to keep him quiet. But the story was already out, and it matched too many others. Another whistleblower was Jaguar Wright, who laid bare the unspoken rules of the industry, where exploitation wasn't the exception, but the expectation. According to her, Diddy's influence was so strong that people simply accepted his behavior. He was untouchable. And that's what made Wahlberg's silent departure from the industry so eerie. He didn't need to say anything. He'd seen enough. Even Wahlberg's transformation into a clean-cut Hollywood star didn't stop the speculation. His decision to walk away to avoid working with Diddy despite potential riches now seemed prophetic. While others celebrated Diddy's so-called victory, Wahlberg's quiet outrage told a different story, one not of jealousy, but of warning. And Diddy's string of controversies keeps growing. Cassie's explosive lawsuit, other young artists mysteriously disappearing from the spotlight, and a growing number of allegations are painting a terrifying picture of what happens behind the studio doors. For every success story, there's a silenced one, and the more you pull at the thread, the clearer the image becomes. This wasn't just about a verdict, this was about power, how it's used, how it's abused, and how it shields the guilty while crushing the innocent. Diddy may have beat some charges, but in the eyes of many, the damage is already done.